So today we are going to discuss hydraulic jump. So last class we have seen most economical section, last few classes, in which we have done the analysis design of most economical section for circular, trapezoidal and rectangular. These are the things which we have discussed in the previous class. Okay, now we are going to discuss hydraulic jump. What is meant by hydraulic jump and what are the analysis? How we are going to analyze the hydraulic jump. Are you everyone joined? See, attendance only 75 people are there. I will download the attendance. If people are joining late, will not be considered. So now, what is meant by hydraulic jump, and what are the features? What are the discussions we are going to have in hydraulic jump? These are the things which we are going to discuss with respect to hydraulic jump. Okay. So definition for hydraulic jump, which means introduction, then specific energy, then depth of hydraulic jump, types of hydraulic jump, and hydraulic jump formation in terms of root number, and submerged hydraulic jump. These are the things which we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, the definition, if you see, what is the definition for hydraulic jump? So you can see here the application of momentum equation in open channel, which deals with the analysis of hydraulic jump. So the most common application of momentum equation is going to be in open channel, especially in open channel. That is only with the help of hydraulic jump. Okay. So with the analysis of hydraulic jump, if you are analyzing this, there is nothing but the application of this analysis is nothing but this. Now, why this hydraulic jump occurs in open channel flow? When there is a transformation of unstable rapid flow or supercritical flow. So when the rapid flow or supercritical flow to stable or tranquil flow. Stable or tranquil flow, or also you can say subcritical flow. Okay, so this is called hydraulic jump. So when we are able to convert supercritical flow into subcritical flow, okay, then which is manifesting as a standing wave. It is nothing but your standing wave. Otherwise, hydraulic jump is also called standing wave. And what happens actually when the standing wave, when this hydraulic jump occurs, there is quite lot amount of dissipation of energy. Okay, you can see there is lot of energy is going to be dissipated. That is one phenomenon, that one outcome of this hydraulic jump, which means that surplus amount of energy is dissipated. And beyond the hydraulic jump, what happens is the water flows with a greater depth and lesser velocity. So after the hydraulic jump, if you see, after the hydraulic jump happens, the water flows with greater depth and with lesser velocity. That is how the flow behaves after the hydraulic jump. Now, what are the applications? If you say, what are the application of this hydraulic jump? So it has many practical and useful applications. So what are the applications actually? So you can say reduction of energy and velocity downstream of a dam or chute in order to minimize and control erosion of the channel bed. So if you have a dam here, This is your upstream, this is your downstream. So this, because when you are releasing the water, when you are releasing the gates, what happens is, we see in the cross section to flow like this. Okay, so what happens is, the energy is getting reduced, and you have a erosion problem on the downstream side. So this erosion is also could be controlled in the channel bed if the hydraulic jump happens. And the raising of downstream water level in the irrigation channel. So another thing is, on the downstream side, you can increase the depth. Okay, the outcome is the water flows with a greater depth and lesser velocity. So downstream side you are getting higher depth. So that is raising of water level in the irrigation channels. And then it is also acting as a mixing device, in the sense where you can have a turbulent mixing zone. You want to mix some chemicals, and some of the things mixing could be easily carried out in this. So mixing device can be fixed in addition for mixing the chemicals, mainly in case of industrial and water and wastewater treatment plants, everything. This could be very much useful. If you take the natural channels, the hydraulic jump is mainly used for providing the aeration. So if the hydraulic jump occurs, then you have lot amount of bubbles, air bubbles. Because of that, your dissolved oxygen is getting increased. When there is an aeration, obviously DO is increasing. Okay, so that is what is happening with respect to hydraulic jump. So this is the general discussion on hydraulic jump. Now how we are going to analyze the hydraulic jump for the momentum equation. So for analyzing the hydraulic jump, we need to know what is specific energy. Okay, what is meant by specific energy? Okay. What is meant by specific energy? Suppose there is a channel, and this is your free surface, and this is your specific energy line. This is going to be your water depth. Okay, this is going to be your E square by 2g, or I can say kinetic head. Am I right? And this is your free surface. And this total energy is going to be your specific energy. So what is the specific energy of a flowing fluid? It is usually defined as, it is a energy or your head. Okay, with respect to datum. With respect to datum, in the sense, your Z is going to be 0 with respect to datum. So for the instance of passing through the bottom of the channel, with respect to the particular section, whatever the energy is passing through, taking datum as the reference. Or I can say E is equal to H plus V square by 2G. So if it is Bernoulli's equation, plus Z, and this H should be replaced by D. Am I right? So here Z is equal to 0. So Z will not be there. So H represents potential head or your depth of fluid flow. Okay, depth of fluid flow is the head of water. Plus this is the velocity. This is potential head. This is velocity head. And your datum head is 0. That is nothing but your specific energy. So now how will you write the specific energy? So potential energy head as well as your kinetic energy head, or I can rewrite as E is equal to kinetic energy head plus potential energy head. This is nothing but your specific energy. Now, so if I am plotting the specific energy diagram with respect to the depth h along the vertical axis, then I can say it's a specific energy head curve. How the curve will be, I will put the curve, then I will explain. Now you can see here, this is going to be your specific energy, this is going to be your depth of flow. Okay. And first one is, this is your ES or the static head energy or potential energy. Static head is equal to H. So what happens? This is where Y versus, sorry, this is Y. So if you are plotting only head of what else? Because E is equal to ES plus EK. ES is nothing but your potential head. H plus V square by 2G. Okay. Suppose I am plotting only this static head or the head of energy, then E is going to be only ES. Okay, so this is 0, only potential head. So in that case, it will be a straight line, sloping line with the slope as 45 degree. Similarly, if I am taking this as 0, then I will have only kinetic energy. So that is nothing but your EK is equal to that velocity, that is V is equal to, because potential for specific energy is specific energy, and I am saying that velocity per unit width, that is usually definition for the specific energy, that will come to later why we are getting this. Yes, yes, come in. I have a class now. Anything you want to say? Yes, just wait 10 minutes. So, okay, if this is 0, only you have a kinetic energy, then it is Q square divided by 2GH square. That Q is nothing but discharge per unit width. What do you mean by that? Discharge per unit width, B is equal to 1. So, if it is a rectangular channel, your V square by 2G becomes Q by A whole square into 1 by 2G. If I am replacing this, then I will be getting A is equal to B into H. H is the head depth of flow. And Q is equal to this in terms of discharge per unit width, if I want to express, then this Q by discharge per unit width, the Q by B is going to be your small q. Small q. So Q square divided by this 2G into H square. Am I right? So you are getting, this is going to be your energy. So I am expressing capital in terms of discharge per unit width. If I am expressing, then for rectangular channel, your static head energy or potential energy, sorry, velocity head will be small q square divided by 2G H square. Okay. So if I am plotting this versus H, it is going to be a parabola. It is going to be a parabola. Okay. So if I am adding both ES and EK, which is nothing but your specific energy. So this is going to be your resultant curve. Resultant specific energy curve. Okay, now we are going to discuss why it is happening like this. Now if you see, there are two heads for each and every particular specific energy. Suppose if this is for specific energy, I am having two heads. This is H2 and I am getting one more head here. Okay, at one particular point you are having both your specific energy is only maximum only at particular, sorry, specific, not maximum, specific energy is minimum only at particular point. After that you will be getting for all the specific energy values, you will be getting two heads, H1 and H2. Am I right? So you will be getting two heads. Only for particular value you are getting a single depth of flow, because this is going to be a depth of flow. And where the specific energy is minimum, you will be getting only one flow. And this is called your critical flow. Okay, this depth is called critical depth. So before and beyond, before and after now, before, above this, below this, you are having two types, two depth now. And these two depths are called conjugate depths. We are going to discuss all those things, how we are going to derive the conjugate depths. Okay. So this is E versus H. E is equal to H, and you are having E versus H. And this is E, your E versus energy, kinetic energy, and this is the resultant specific energy versus your depth. Okay. If you see that one, this is going to be a parabola, and the curve of static energy head is a straight line with the origin, with the line which is passing through the origin at 45 degree, and your kinetic energy is a parabolic line. Okay, but adding these two values, we are getting a resultant specific energy curve. This is called your specific energy curve. Okay, now as I told you, the critical depth. Now, what is critical depth and critical flow? As I told you in the specific energy curve, where you are having E minimum, when the specific energy is minimum, which is at a point C, this is going to be your point C. And this particular depth of water in the channel, D or H, here you are replacing with H. Okay, this depth is called critical depth. So when specific energy is minimum, the depth of channel, the depth of flow of water in the channel, this is called critical depth. Okay, and how will you estimate this depth? You want to find out what is the critical depth HC, suppose. If here we are expressing this is HC. Now how will you estimate HC? So you wanted to HC, the depth at which flow is critical, and VC is flow velocity at which the flow is critical. So it is a critical velocity of flow. This is a critical depth. Okay. So now how we are going to derive this? We will see the derivation. So if I am putting specific energy is minimum, I can write dE by dH is equal to 0. With respect to H, I am differentiating. But you know, E is equal to H plus V square by 2G. And d by dH of even H plus V square by 2G is equal to 0. But you know that V is equal to Q by A. And if it is rectangular channel, A is going to be B into H. Q by B, discharge per unit width is nothing but small q. So I can write QV is equal to Q by H, where Q is constant discharge and there is no variation in this discharge. Constant discharge per unit width. Okay. So now d by dH of H plus Q square by H square into 2G equal to 0. Okay, now if I am differentiating this, what I will be getting, dh by dh, you will be getting, differentiate h with d by dh, then you will be getting 1 minus q square divided by 2gh cube. H square if you are differentiating, it will be h power minus 2. Then you will be getting 1 minus q square divided by, the 2 will get cancelled. So 1 square q square divided by g into h cube, this is equal to 0. Now this is going to be 1 is equal to q square divided by g into h cube. And again this is going to be q square divided by h square into 1 by gh. Okay, I am writing like q square by h square into 1 by gh, I am rewriting. Okay, now this is going to be q square by h square is nothing but your v square, velocity, divided by gh. Or I can write h is equal to v square divided by g. When the flow is critical, then you can replace h with hc. Okay, when replace h with hc, then hc is equal to vc square divided by 2g. In this case, hc is a critical depth and vc is the critical velocity. Okay, now if I am replacing h by hc and v by vc in the specific energy equation, then you'll be getting what is my specific energy, minimum specific energy. If I am replacing h by hc, h by hc and v by vc. So what is my equation now? So if I am replacing with h by hc and v by vc, then I will be getting E minimum, because minimum energy is going to be minimum plus vc square by 2g. Okay, and again this will be hc plus, what is your vc square by 2g? vc square by 2g is vc is equal to square root of gh. Okay, so if I am replacing with vc square is going to be g into hc square, then in that case I will be getting hc plus vc square divided by 2g is going to be hc plus hc into g divided by 2g, or it will be hc plus hc by 2, which is going to be 1.5 times of hc. Or I can say, when the specific energy is minimum, E is minimum when hc is equal to 2 by 3 of E minimum, isn't it? So your critical depth is 2/3 of E minimum, because it is 3 by 2 and it is coming as other side, we will be getting hc is equal to, I am bringing here, so it will be 2 by 3 of E minimum. Now similarly, kinetic energy head, Ek is equal to vc square by 2g, this kinetic energy head, and this is going to be E minimum minus 2/3 of E minimum. Okay, so because we are going to have E minimum minus this critical depth, because your E minimum is going to be Ek plus is Es. So Es is nothing but your Hc plus Ek you don't know, and is going to be specific energy is going to be E minimum is equal to E minimum, so this is going to be your E minimum. Now, if I want to know what is my EK, I am expressing E minimum minus HC. So if I am expressing E minimum in terms of HC, then E minimum is equal to E minimum minus 2 by 3 of E minimum. Okay, HC is equal to. So now this is you are going to substitute here. Now you will be getting 1 by 3 of E minimum is nothing but your kinetic energy head. Okay. Now but already you have the equation for your critical depth. Okay. So what is your critical depth here? HC is equal to VC square by 2G. Already you have this equation. Now I am substituting for VC in terms of HC. So this is Q by HC the whole square divided by 2G. Sorry, not 2G, VC square by G. This is the formula. Now, so now HC is equal to V square by G or Q by HC the whole square by G, and HC cube is going to be Q square by G, and HC is going to be Q square by G the whole raised to 1 by 3. This is the critical depth in terms of Q. This is in terms of Q. Okay. So this is the equation for critical depth. This is the equation for critical depth. When discharge per unit weight through the channel is given to you, that is small q is known to you, then you can estimate what is your HC. So if discharge per unit width is known, you can find what is your HC. If HC is known to you, you can find what is your VC, because VC is going to be Q by HC. Okay, in this way we can be able to find out what is your HC and VC. Now I'll give you one problem. A channel 6 meter wide and the discharge is 20 meter cube per second. Determine HC and VC when E is minimum, specific energy is minimum. Can you tell me the answer? You know Q, you know B is equal to 6 meter. Okay, now what is discharge per unit width? Small q is equal to Q by B. Find small q. HC is equal to Q square by G whole power 1 by 3. VC is equal to Q by HC. That's all. You'll be able to find out both. What is the answer?
And HC is 1.042 meter.
1.02 and 3.2. 1.04 and 3.2. Okay.
3.197.
Okay. Now, okay, good. Now we'll pass on to okay, now we will see what are the different types of the flow. So now depending upon the critical depth as well as your real depth, okay, we can classify the flow into different types. So what are the different types of the flow? One is, just now I have told, tranquil flow, critical flow, rapid flow. Okay, so what is tranquil flow? If the depth of water in the channel is greater than critical depth, HC, then the flow is called tranquil flow. Then critical flow, if the depth of flow in the channel is critical, then the flow is called critical flow. If the depth of water in the channel is smaller than HC or less than HC, then the flow is called rapid flow or rapid flow or supercritical flow. When it is greater, it is called subcritical flow. These are the different types of flows. Okay. Now, we'll do one more problem I will give you. So, a channel, rectangular in cross section, which is having 7.5 meter wide, and its discharge Q is equal to 12 meter cube per second, with an average velocity of 1.5 meter per second. Now find specific energy head. 1. This is 1. Number 2, depth of water when E is minimum. Number 3, velocity of water when E is minimum. Then number 4, E minimum. What is the minimum? Specific energy head. Then what is the type of flow? Okay. Now you need to find out all those things. So these are the data given to you. Now how will you proceed? So I know my depth is, width is P is equal to 7.5 meter and my Q is equal to 12. So what is my discharge per unit width? Small q is equal to Q by B. So 12 by 7.5. I will be getting something around 1.6 meter square per second. And what is the average velocity? 7.5 meter per sorry, 1.5 meter per second, which is already given to you. Now depth of flowing water, how will you calculate the depth of flowing water actually? So because small q by v, in terms of small q are writing. So already small q is going to be 1.6 divided by v, you will be able to get what is the depth of flow, something around 1.07 meter. Okay, now what is asked is specific energy head of flowing water. So what should I do? Specific energy head E is equal to h plus v square by 2g. This is static head, this is velocity head, kinetic head. Usual notations only we are using. So E is equal to, what is h here? 1.07 plus v square by 2g is 1.5 whole square divided by 2g. This is going to be 1.182 meter. So this is the specific energy head. This first one, specific energy head of flowing water, you have found out. Okay. Now what is the depth of water when the energy is minimum, specific energy is minimum? So what do you mean by that? Second part, when E is minimum, your depth is going to be critical. When E is minimum, depth is going to be critical. This already we have seen. Now HC is equal to Q square by G, the whole raised to 1 by 3. Substitute Q and G and we will be getting what is the critical depth. Critical depth I am getting something around 0.639 meters. Okay. Now second part of the problem is done. Now what is the third is velocity of flow in the specific energy is minimum. So when specific energy is minimum, what is the velocity of the flow? So for that, your Vc is equal to critical velocity is going to be Q by Hc. We have seen the derivation, Q by Hc. Now if I substitute these values, I will be getting what is my Vc. Now Vc is going to be, suppose 2.5 meter per second, because Q is known to you, Hc is known to you, you can substitute and find what is my critical velocity. Okay. And now if you are finding this Vc, now what is the fourth question? This is also done now. Now what is E minimum? E minimum, you know the formula for E minimum. What is the formula for E minimum? Oh, E minimum is going to be Hc plus Vc square by 2g. So I can substitute for Hc Vc square by 2g, I will be getting what is my E minimum. So for this particular problem, I will be getting something around 9.95 meters. Okay, now what is the last part of the problem? What is the type of flow? What is actually you are having? Your H is 1.07 meters and your HC is 0.639 meters. So which is higher, H or HC? Compare the depth of H and HC, which is higher?
H.
H is higher. So when the depth of water is higher than the critical depth, what type of flow it is?
Subcritical flow.
Yes, that's all. It is a subcritical flow because H is greater than HC. Hence your type of flow is subcritical or tranquil flow. Okay, have you understood? Is this problem is clear? This is a typical problem. Similarly, you can solve many problems of this kind for understanding the hydraulic jumper. Is it clear to you? Can you note down some few problems and you please look into this, do it, solve it, hydraulic jumper. Okay. I will give you 1 or 2 problems. You solve by yourself and let me know the answer tomorrow. I am giving you a few problems. So note down this. I'll give you a few situations for classifying the open channel flow during the following situations. Okay, what are the situations? Flow from sluice gate, a river during flood, breaking of a dam, sudden opening of sluice gate, flow in a sewer. So these are the classification. You have to classify what type of flow is this. This is one question to you. And then what we are discussing now is only rectangular channel. Similarly, we can discuss for triangular and trapezoidal channel. That is also available. We will be discussing that components also. Okay. I thought I'll give you some problems. I'm searching for problem. Okay, I will close here. We will see the remaining part because we want to see the conjugate depth also. I think we will see alternate depth and then we will discuss, because whatever you have seen on is only little part. So alternate depth, if we discuss, I can give you more problems. Maybe next class, tomorrow's class, we'll discuss, and then I'll give you a few problems. You please go through this and find out what type of flow this is. Classification of the flows. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll close here, and we will see tomorrow.